We welcome our presenter, Mr. Atul B. Khare, Chief General Manager, DFCCIL. Mr. Atul B. Khare is working as the project leader who is steering the project from inception to completion, and he is involved in design, planning, monitoring, implementation, and certification of Bhopur Khurja section of dedicated freight corridor, double line electrified railroad in India under FIDIC conditions funded by the World Bank involving civil and system infrastructure and also operational control center of dedicated freight corridor in India. Besides a successful railroad construction engineer, Mr. Khare is also expert in railway track mechanized maintenance, upgradation of railroads, and increase of speeds on conventional tracks in India. He was also in charge of rail operation, senior management level in various administrative and technical positions in Indian Railways. He has also published various technical papers on railroad maintenance, upgradation of track and speeds, mechanized maintenance of track and rail safety. He has acquired knowledge of strategic leadership management, intermodal logistics, and Indian and international contract and arbitrations by way of various national and international trainings and practice while working for more than 30 years.
I am Atul Khare, Chief General Manager on Dedicated Freight Corridor. I am looking after right now the project of completion of 353 kilometer. This is a double line freight corridor track on of Indian Railways, which will be primarily used for carrying freights on the eastern corridor, that is right from Sahnewal in Ludhiana to Dankuni in West Bengal. So I am in charge of this 353 kilometer, which is from Khurja to short of Kanpur. The place is known as Bhaupur. So I will be introducing the concept of mechanized track laying and mechanized overhead electrical equipment. Shortly we call it OHE. How did we do the foundation and then wiring, etc., by all mechanized means, so that the speed and quality has improved. So I'll go ahead with the presentation. This is what I was talking about. We have on dedicated freight corridor two corridors. One is the western corridor. It is around 1500 kilometers. That is from Dadri to JNPT, and the second corridor is from Ludhiana to Dankuni. And this portion which I have encircled is Bhaupur Khurja, which is shown in the blue color. It is my section, which has been recently inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India on 29th of December, and now the regular operation of around 25 trains each way is running. So this eastern corridor is again divided into several parts. It is approximately 1800 kilometers, which is about to open in June 22. And there are future corridors also which are in pipeline. I will not talk about those corridors. So to complete this work, definitely the timeline given was very tight, and it was a 350 kilometer, which was to be completed in 5 years, and including land acquisition, designing, then construction, laying of track, completing the system works, etc. Along with this, there was one additional feature which I am not including in the presentation, is the completion of operational control center at Allahabad, which will be covering the entire 1800 kilometer of eastern dedicated freight corridor. So to complete all this work in the shortest possible time, we had to go for the mechanization, because by manual means it was not possible. So I will be covering two aspects. One is the track laying by mechanized means, another is the OHE works by the mechanized means. So why we have gone for the track laying? Naturally, with this freight corridor has been designed for carrying it carrying a 32 metric ton axle load That is, in this case, we have designed formation and bridges of 32-ton axle load, and the track structure we have designed for 25-ton axle loads. So we are handling, because the so much heavier track with the heavy haul trains, it was required to eliminate as much as welds as possible. So we have taken 260-meter long panel right from the welding plant, and handling this 260-meter panels manually was not possible. And all the logistics required for this 260-meter long panel, then the concrete sleeper, then the assembly line, etc., was not. I mean, we cannot think of anything manually with this magnitude of work. So what we did, we have gone for a new track construction machine. We call it NTC in short, and we have utilized this machine for the work. So this initial laying, along with the speed and the quality, both were phenomenal, and we could achieve the work in time. Second part is the OHE, because doing this work by overhead, I mean, completion of around 1500 kilometers wiring, 16,000 foundations in a span of around 2 years, along with the system works. It was again a Herculean task. So we have gone for overhead electrical mechanized equipment. The equipments I will be introducing later on. But why have we gone for mechanization in OHE? Because we will be carrying trains at 2 minutes headway. Again, this is a system of 2 into 25 kV against the conventional system of normal 25 kV in the Indian Railways. And our catenary and contacts size is also heavier than the Indian Railways. Right? We have catenary of 120 square meter mm and contact wire of 150 square mm. Having this much size, and there are two additional wire because of 2 into 25, that is the aerial earth wire and the negative feeder. So with this, there were 4 wires. So it means that we have to design the foundations and the catenary OHE system, which is much heavier than the Indian Railways. For completing this work, it was not possible to do it manually. And again, the preset tension is also higher than Indian Railways. So all this, what we have thought of, that we should do all the works of overhead equipment by a mechanical means. So coming to the machine first, the track laying part, the machine which we adopted is naturally the state-of-art world class, and it is around 45 kilometer long. It is about consisting of a truss frame. I will be showing in the picture later on. And it is a completely mechanized flow of material, sleeper, rails, everything is done. And it is working at the speed of 10 sleepers per minute. And it is, when we take it from the base station to the workplace, it travels at 80 kmph. And it is capable of handling 260-meter long rail. So I'll explain the machine. It's a truss which I was showing. The truss is supported on crawler, and it's a self-propelled type of machine, and it has a rail threading and laying unit. And following this, it's a fleet of wagons. In our case, those were 22 wagons which were carrying rails and sleepers. So for doing this work, what we required is the establishment of base depot, sorry, from where the NTC will start, and it will get the material loaded. First, we load all these base stations were created about 120 kilometer interval, and there are 21 synchronized overhead gantries which were loading 260-meter long rails. And there were 2 lines. One is a reception line, dispatch line. And over this, what I will explain, that you will show there is some concrete bed where the rails were embedded, on which the rails were stacked. And there was again a sleeper assembly, sleeper line, which is not shown in the picture. So activities at base depot. we were unloading 260-meter long rail panel with synchronized gantry, which we have taken on a operational line from Indian Railways. And there was about 1.56 kilometer of rail which we can load in one formation on 12 and around 2590 of the sleepers were loaded in about 6 to 8 hours. So what we were doing that there were two material trains. So one train was under loading and another train was under operation. And soon as the work of one material train was finished, we were taking it back to the base station, and if traveling the new material train was doing the work. So practically every day we were in position to lay about 1.56 kilometer of track with two material train and one NTC. NTC, I have already explained. NTC, this formation is a 22 number BLC wagon, and in which 12 numbers rails were loaded. Rails were loaded at the bottom of material train. Over to that, 2,590 sleepers were loaded, and these were propelled by two UTV, Universal Track Machine Vehicle, we will say. This is rail unloading. Once the material train reaches to the work site, the rails are threaded. There is a mechanism in the NTC which is pulling ahead the 260-meter long panel to some extent, and then further this rail panel, 260-meter rail panel, was gripped by a friction grip clamp, which I am showing in the picture. And with this, the rail were pulled by a dozer ahead of the NTC machine. And these two rails were laid at around 1700 mm in distance. And this is the equipment which is shown in the picture. This is a dozer which is pulling the machine. So these rails are supported at 6 to 10 meter interval with a lateral separation of 1700 meters. 7 mm, sorry. So once the rails are laid, then ballast bed is prepared. Over the ballast bed, we are marking a center line on which the track is to be laid. And there is a pointer in the NTC machine which is to be kept in position over this line so that the alignment of track laid is maintained. There is an operator unit which is popularly known as Jupiter control. It's a computerized control and which is controlling all the movement of machine. So this sleeper, I have tried to show in the this picture that how the sleepers are moved over the conveyor belt in the direction of arrows, and finally the sleepers are dropped at the ballast bed. And once the sleepers are dropped, then the rubber pad is put on that sleeper by a person sitting somewhere here, and he's keeping the rubber pad over these machines. And then finally, as the machine moves, the rails are threaded to the rail seat by the machine itself. These are the rollers which are threading machine from outside, means from 1700 mm to the normal track center, track gauge. After this machine is doing the work, I mean after completion of the machine work, the skeleton track is finally laid at the sleeper, and following that a clip applicator was run. I have not shown or included in the presentation to fix the clip. Then the ballasting is done. Then finally we are tamping and ballasting and finally making the track ready for normal 30 km track. Secondly, I will come to the overhead electric construction. As I explained earlier, all overhead equipments were very heavy. So we had gone for the cylindrical foundation. These are the foundation of a short pile type, and against the rectangular foundation which normally Indian Railways were so far using. And the requirement of these foundations were because it is very near to the existing running railway lines where the lot of space constraints were there because of cables and proximity of the operational lines. These foundations were designed as per UIC report, and we have adopted two type of foundation. One is the 900 mm dia and another is the 1200 mm dia, which was used for the portal. So while I will explain how the foundations are done. What we did, we utilized mostly rail cum road vehicles, and on that rail cum road vehicles, we have fixed in the auger machines. So after once the track is laid, the rail cum road vehicle was moving and doing the augering uh, by the, while working, moving on the track. What is important in this case, why have we used a rail cum road vehicle, not as the normal track? Because at some location, it's an interface issue, the timelines were very tight, so we had to resort that there was some critical location where the track was not laid, but we had resorted to fixing of the OHE mast prior to even the track was laid. This could have been possible because we have designed everything and used GPS coordinates even for the foundation and GPS coordinates for the track. So even though when the track was not there, the foundations were carried out and the masts were erected by following the GPS coordinate system. So while it was another challenge that although we have done the augering by the rail cum road vehicle, but how to carry out concreting, because we had to resort to the concreting, which were we had two lines basically. I will just explain. That is, one is we call it popularly up line and the down line. The line which is near, closer to the Indian Railways running track, there it was not possible to move any road vehicle to that line. So ultimately what we resorted, that we have made a concrete train. It is consisting of three normal, in railway system we call it BFR, the flat wagons, and on that flat wagons we have mounted a batching plant along with the service equipment required, and on three flat wagons a concrete plant was housed, which was fed from the various location at around again 100 kilometers away. All the raw material was fed to this concrete train, and these concrete trains were going at different locations, and it was in a day it was possible to lay 20 foundations by simple using these two wagons and a locomotive. So it was in a day we could do 20 foundation, which was otherwise a job of 15 to 20%, and even with the 15 to 20%, it was possible to lay only 1 to 2 foundations. So this concrete foundation, this is a concrete train, has become very popular, and on Indian Railways system, it is first time we have used this concrete train. Again, for mast erection, we have used the same principle, same rail cum road vehicle along with the grappler. And with this, once the foundations are done, the concrete mast was erected, aligned with the twister, and then balance concreting was done again by the concrete train. So after the concrete train, once the masts are erected, we have utilized wiring train, because first of all we were required to do two wiring of aerial earth wire and a negative feeder wire. This negative feeder and aerial earth wire is unique to our system because we are using 2 into 25 kV system. So both the drums of aerial earth wire and negative feeder were loaded to a wiring train, and the wiring train was pulled, and all this aerial earth wire and negative feeder were at a pre-tensioned tension. We have laid these two wires. After wiring is done, there is a job of cantilever installation. We have again utilized the RSM type of. These are again the world-class machine which were not so far used on the Indian railway system. These are the self-propelled machine capable of running independently at 50 kmph, but while working it was running at 10 kmph. So with these machines, it's an elevated platform, self-propelled one, and with these machines we have installed all the cantilever, because there is one storage. I mean, you can store a few number of cantilevers also. So it was very easy to fix cantilever with this machine, and again with this machine we could complete the work of around 20 masts in a day by one unit. After this job is done, we have utilized this OHE wiring train, which is again a world-class equipment. It has 4 drums, 2 drums. I mean, in one setting, it was possible for us to wire around 4 kilometers. So the one drum, once it is exhausted, another drum is utilized. So that's why there are 4 drums, and each drum is, I mean, 2 drums for contact wire, 2 drums for the catenary. So these again, I have shown the formation, engine, then the service wagon, then the wiring wagon. So following the wiring wagon, there is again RSM which is working. So with this wiring train, in a span of around 2 hours, we could carry out 3 kilometers of wiring, both cantilever and contact wire, sorry, both catenary and contact wire at a pre-decided tensioned length. Because what happens in the normal wiring system of Indian Railway, normal wiring train, these wires are just stringed, and these are not at a pre-decided tension. But with this wiring train, it was possible for us to give a pre-tensioned force, and all these wires were stretched in a without any defect, without any kink. So it was a perfect job without any aberrations or without any defect. So after this is done, this, I mean, once the one length is done, so the termination of OHE wires is automatically done. The kinks and twists was not possible, I have already stated. And it is very important not to stretch the messenger and this contact wire and catenary wire over what is meant for, because once you pull the wire at a greater tension, then the wire strength is lost. So what is the biggest advantage with this machine is that you are pulling it at the exactly required tension. So with this, only after completing the wiring, the only job required was buy an RSM just to fix up the droppers and clips, etc., and the job was done. So with this, I have explained both the method of mechanization, that is track laying as well as OHE laying, and we could complete the work in a most difficult, or say most tight targets which was given to us, and we could complete the entire work, I mean around 353 kilometers exactly, in about 3 years or so, because about initially 1 year and 1.5 years were lost in land acquisition and completing those structures, etc. And what is the way ahead is the coming. We have more and more corridors coming. About 2 more corridors have been under survey, and the two corridors are under constructions, and another 2 are in advanced stage of conception. So with this, it is definitely these two machines, these two type of technology will pave way further for construction of track as well as OHE in a fastest and quickest manner, along with the quality of laying both track as well as OHE. Thank you.